Okay, this is just a quick little video, one little minor modification I did to a Tower Pro servo. It's so minor you can hardly even call it a modification. And I got one little tip for some of the noobs. But this is standard Airtronics. Flew nitro for years. These things used to drive me crazy. Right there. You know, trying to get it between your servo rails or in a servo tray, trying to get that wire down in there and then get the servo to sit down in there. You'd always have a big gap. You had to space your rails way out to get that thing in there crooked. Used to drive me crazy forever. Forever. Well, I bought some of these little E-Maxes. The first thing I noticed when I took it out, other than it was really small and light, first thing I noticed was the wire comes out the bottom. It's like, hallelujah. Every servo in history should have been made that way. Why not, you know? All you need is a hole just big enough for the servo, and you slide it. It slides right down in that hole. No wire in your way. I'm like, awesome, cool. Greatest thing ever. Well, I use those in this plane I just got finished here, which hasn't been flown yet. And I built that thing over there, which hasn't been flown yet either, try to teach my girlfriend to fly. I got another video about that. Thanks to the two people that watched it. But I did put standard servos in there, one of my old radio systems. So it's got two of these in there. So I got these and I'm like, man, that's just ridiculous. I mean, two of these is compared to two standard servos. I mean, that's almost the weight of another battery pack. So I bought 8 of these. I read some reviews and some comments, and these are supposed to be pretty good little old servos. A little better than the Tower Pros. But I went ahead and bought some of the Tower Pros just to test them out and try them, because they're just super cheap. Well, I decided that other plane I built over there, I was going to try to teach my girlfriend to fly with, the green and yellow striped one. It's got the standard servos in it. I said, man, I got to take them out. That'd be a good place to test these out, because hopefully that plane's not going to fly very fast. It's not going to need a lot of torquey servo action. So I pulled one of these out this morning because I was going to retrofit a couple of these in there and monkey around with my little servo trays and stuff and get a couple of these in there. Well, what's the first thing I noticed? The wire. You got wire in the way down here. Okay. Now I'm like totally bummed. So I thought about it a couple minutes. I thought, no, I can fix that. You take the screws out of the bottom, cut your little labels, take the plug off. You don't want to make a huge hole. You get this end cap off, take a Dremel with a small bit, make a couple little holes, then just kind of wallow it out in between there, kind of route it out till you got it just big enough to stick the wire through. You pull that wire through, put the plug back on, put the 4 screws in. I'm not going to show you all this. And then take a little dab of hot glue, smear it over that hole, keep out the dirt and dust and grime, a little hot glue around the plug, and bingo. Now you've got a servo, like the E-Max, with the wire on the bottom. You can just slide it right in and out of a hole without having to worry about that wire being in your way. So that's my little modification. Now my little tip for some of the noobs out there. This is the wing for that little orange and white plane I just finished last night. Now you may look at this and you may think, wow, that is some really fancy looking special aftermarket coiled up wire or something he's put on there. No. You take a screwdriver, you take a dowel rod, you take even a pencil, depends on how tight you want your coils. Lay your servo over there, grab it like that. You twist your wire neatly around it, like so, good and snug. like that. You can do half the wire, you can do the whole wire, whatever you want to do. You pull that out, and boom, you've got your little coiled up wire. So there's no reason to have a huge bird nest of wires just stuffed in your plane everywhere. You just twist them around like that. You can do the whole thing if you want. You get a nice little short coiled wire. Put your servo in. Pull out what you need to get to your receiver, and the rest of it's not just dangling and flopping, and when you put your wing on, you're not like, oh no, my wire's hanging out through my wing saddle and I just crunched my plane down on it. You don't have to have a huge wad of wires in there. You don't really have to even tie wrap them or tape them down or anything. Just twist them all up like that around a pencil or whatever. Get a nice little coil in them. And pull all that slack up out of there. And you end up with some nice neat wires in your plane or your car or your boat or whatever. So that's just my little tip on neatening up your wires. So like I said, when I get these first two planes flown, I will have videos of both on there. This one here I think is going to be a little screamer. I haven't done a video on it, but it's got a double tapered wing on it. Some pretty wicked flying surfaces. I'm hoping it'll do some snap rolls and stall turns, maybe even hold a knife edge. I don't know. It's just going to be kind of my first attempt at a little mini pattern plane. So when I get both of these flown, I will put some videos up, and if I think of anything else that's even halfway as useful, I'll put that up too. So for the 2 or 3 people that end up watching this one, thank you.